Welcome to today's video, where today's video is a rather short one where I'm covering Buddy's Japanese release compared to the rest of the world, so let's begin. Even though Buddy came out in America and Europe in October 2006, it didn't for Japan. It didn't even come out for the entirety of 2007 either. Buddy came out on the 24th of July 2008 in Japan, nearly 2 years after the original PlayStation 2 release and 4 months after the Scholarship Edition release in the rest of the world. Now this is not unusual for Rockstar releases in Japan, as Rockstar always seem to release their games much later. For example, GTA 3, which came out in 2001, wasn't available in Japan until 2003. Now this trend seems to continue to this very day, with GTA 5 coming out on October 10th 2013, as opposed to September 2013. Now one of the things some of you might find unusual is, in Japan, Buddy was actually published by Bethesda Softworks, not Rockstar. Now Bethesda are the company who have published games such as Fallout and Skyrim. It sounds weird when you think of Buddy as being published by somebody else other than Rockstar. Now once again, this isn't unusual for Rockstar to go with another company for their Japanese releases. For example, GTA 3 and Vice City, Rockstar had Capcom publish GTA in Japan, the company behind games such as Dead Rising, Resident Evil and Mega Man. Now another difference between the Japanese version is the cover. The PlayStation 2 cover is near enough the same one as Scholarship Edition's cover, rather than the logo of the Academy the rest of the world got. Now the Xbox 360 version of Buddy, however, keeps the same cover design as the rest of the world, just with the Buddy logo being the PS2's and Bethesda's logo is at the bottom in between Rockstar's and the age rating. Now if we take a look at the age rating, we can see Buddy is rated as a D, which means in Japan, Buddy is rated as a 17 plus game, which is different since in Europe, Buddy is rated as a 15, and in the States, Buddy is rated as a T, which means 13 plus. Now due to Buddy coming out so late in Japan, the Japanese never got Buddy Collector's Edition, well unless of course they bought it through eBay or Amazon. Now Buddy's Japanese site can still be accessed at rockstargames-buddy.jp. Now the site is an unupdated version of the English site, with many of the features such as the ball with Facebook and campus rules still being viewable. Now even though this site is supposed to be for the Japanese version, some of the site is still in English, namely on the Facebook and the campus rules. I also say it's unupdated because there's no mention of Buddy Anniversaries Edition, unlike the English site. So it seems Rockstar created this site and just forgot about it. Now the name for Buddy wasn't changed, thankfully. Although the Xbox 360 version isn't called Scholarship Edition, it's just called Buddy. Now even though it still has all the stuff the 360 had. Now this was most likely done since the PS2 versions and the Xbox 360 versions came out at the same time, and it wouldn't make much sense for a remastered version of the game to come out on the same day. So going off this, Buddy is probably the only game with different names for different versions. Buddy, called Buddy in America and Japan, is called Canis Canem in Europe. Buddy Scholarship Edition is called Buddy Scholarship Edition in America and Europe, but it's called Buddy in Japan. At least the Anniversary Edition managed to stick to a name all regions can agree on. Now while it's nothing big, the trailer for Buddy's Japanese release only says the game is coming out on PlayStation 2 and Xbox 360, even though Buddy's PC version can still be purchased in Japan through Steam and it comes with full Japanese support, which I think came out in about 2011, I'm unsure of that however. Anyway, strangely, Buddy was never actually released for the Wii in Japan. Every other version eventually found its way onto its respective platform, except the Wii. I actually couldn't find anything on why Buddy's Wii version wasn't available. Could it have been cancelled at the original Xbox version? I don't know. Now gameplay wise, I only know of a few differences, namely the game comes with Japanese subtitles. There's no Japanese audio however, so if you're expecting a proper Jimmy Hopkins waifu, don't bother. Now even though it's not Japanese release specific, the PC versions have native support for Japanese subtitles, as do the Anniversary Editions. This might not be considered a specific detail, but at least on Buddy Anniversary Edition, if you play in Japanese, you only have to get 15% to pass the English class. Case. This was most likely done as native Japanese players might struggle more with English class than say a native French speaker, for example. That's a nice thought from Rockstar in my opinion.
That's right! Well done! I can't help but wonder how you do with a more challenging curriculum.
So that's it for today's video. I'm sorry that it's a rather short one. If I can get my hands on a proper Japanese version of Buddy, I'd like to see if there's any major differences, since it's not uncommon for Rockstar's games to be changed quite a lot in Japan. So yeah, that was today's video. I hope you enjoyed and thank you for watching.